Well, Donald Trump's pathetic birthday party came and went. For quite a while, I was really hoping there would just be a massive downpour, just a horrible storm to prevent this pathetic birthday parade from even happening, but that wasn't the case. It did happen. But honestly, I'm now glad it did, because now it gives us the opportunity to take a look at how much of a total disaster this whole thing really was. First, you have the overall turnout. Not looking so great. You can see that they're set up as if there's going to be this enormous line, but there's not even a line. One attendee estimated that roughly 100,000 people, give or take, attended the overall event. Still, many empty seats were visible. The attendee also described the overall vibes as pretty low energy. There was also no water cups. There were a bunch of water bottles hidden away in a tent, not being given out to anyone, and there was trash everywhere. Good thing these bozos don't believe in climate change. This turnout is really embarrassing, especially when you compare it to the turnout for No King's Day. Yeah, we all know Donald Trump is obsessed with crowd sizes, so this has gotta hurt. One potential and hilarious explanation for why this may be is because TikTokers everywhere have been trolling Donald Trump and this event. Across social media, people have claimed to have reserved tickets to Trump's birthday parade with no intent of showing up. You can see here that they acquired tickets. They're also Canadian, so they're certainly not planning on actually attending. And you can see the comments here. Someone said, I got 10 tickets and I live in Australia. Fox News is going to report that the parade is sold out. The entire event was incredibly poorly coordinated as well. Here you can see thousands of people stuck in a bottleneck, all because of the poor crowd design. It was so bad that this is how people had to go back and forth. But by far the worst display of this entire ordeal was just how sleepy and out of it Donald Trump was. That's right, dozing Don struck again. Take a look.
Always end with two people facing off with each other, and we need young leaders to be able to close with and destroy the enemy.
However, it was later on that shocking footage emerged, showing Donald Trump literally struggling to stay awake for his own birthday party.
Alliances culminate in the outbreak of the First World War. The two sides engage in the savage war of attrition, defined by opposing trenches, barbed wire, poison gas, and mass casualties. The United States initially maintained its neutrality, but was eventually drawn into the conflict in 1917. Despite having less than 130,000 soldiers at the beginning, the Army eventually grew to over 4 million, with nearly 2 million soldiers serving in Europe. In 6 months of fighting, nearly 50,000 Americans lost their lives, with another 190,000 wounded. The guns fell silent with the armistice of November 11th, 1918. We continue on with more USA World War I rolling stock. This 1918 Dodge touring car was part of the legendary 1919 Transcontinental Convoy. 3,251 miles and 62 grueling days across the Lincoln Highway. And remember, no pavement, no GPS, and no power steering. Just grit, determination, and the drive to push Army mobility.
All in all, this parade was a pathetic display to stroke a weak man's ego. Sure, the right wing might claim that this was to honor our military. This was about Donald Trump. This was for Donald Trump. And the entire ordeal was really just embarrassing.
New footage shows Donald Trump looking incredibly depressed at his birthday parade in Washington, D.C. He's sad that nobody showed up. Take a look.
In 1914, years of escalating competition between European alliances culminate in the outbreak of the First World War. The two sides engage in the savage war of attrition, defined by opposing trenches, barbed wire, poison gas, and mass casualties. The United States initially maintained its neutrality, but was eventually drawn into the conflict in 1917. Despite having less than 130,000 soldiers at the beginning, the Army eventually grew to over 4 million, with nearly 2 million.
He truly looks inconsolable. He's upset that nobody showed up to his birthday party. Nobody went to the parade. It was raining all day. And meanwhile, millions of Americans were out in the streets protesting against him. Donald Trump's birthday today ended up being one of the worst days for him of his presidency. And I enjoyed every moment, I gotta be honest.
Okay, were any of my fellow veterans out there caught off guard by just how shitty Trump's military parade looked? I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I was genuinely shocked. Now, don't get me wrong, the United States Army has plenty of problems, but finding the pageantry and stagecraft necessary to pull off a tight public performance, not generally one of them. They pretty much nail that one every time. The presentation of the equipment was lackluster and uninspiring. The uniforms didn't look all that sharp. The marching was a horror story. Like, they're just walking. Nobody's in step. I couldn't believe what I was witnessing. I don't know. The entire thing just seemed tacky, cheap, and unprofessional to me, which is really funny when you consider the fact that they went out of their way to tell you that this was sponsored by random crypto scams.
Special thanks to our sponsor, Coinbase.
It's like a bad dream. To end on a good note, whenever I saw one of the Army marching bands, they looked pretty tight. They seemed squared away. And to end on an even better note, I love that the thing was sparsely attended. It couldn't happen to a better guy.
We'll never know how much this parade cost the American people. How many lives could have been saved with health care paid for, as they ripped the health care away just to pay for a, who knows, $45 to $150 million parade. The amount of money that could have helped people in healthcare and the cost to save lives, and they want to have a fucking parade. I guess the Craigslist ad did not work for him, as nobody hardly showed up. There was more protesters than there was fucking actual people coming to see a fucking dictator's dick. And that's exactly what he's trying to provide us, how long his dick is, which we already know it's fucking short as fuck from the prostitutes he paid for and the woman he raped. Because remember, she didn't even know if it was a penis or a finger that went in her. So there you have it. Happy Father's Day.
What an embarrassment. Honestly, that's about as small as it gets. How weak do you have to be to commandeer the military to fet you on your birthday in a vulgar display of weakness? That's Donald Trump.
So I don't know why Americans feel it's always right to humiliate their president during every national function. So apparently there was Trump's parade. There were immigration demonstration all over United States of America the other day. And when you see a fully funded millions parade versus a zero funded protest, the zero funded protest won entirely. And I think it's just that people are tired with the current administration. You know, even there was a speaker who said, like, there are a lot of things that can be used or can be saved by 400, that the enormous amount of money that they provided for this parade. But I feel, you know, everything has a reason and a purpose. You know, I will not criticize the parade, but I'll criticize the fact that people didn't attend the beloved president's demonstration or parade. I mean, people chose to attend the demonstrations. The military parade is always essential. The military celebration is almost essential. But I think people hated the fact that it was the same day that Donald Trump was actually having a birthday. So tell me what you think about this parade in the comment section.